Damage Showcase could be very misleading, and today I want to talk about what we could do to make them right. I don't think that the quote-unquote Damage Showcase is a bad thing in general. I think that when done properly, they could be very beneficial for people to understand a character potential, especially for those who are not too into math. However, often I think that they don't actually represent the character damage potential. For example, in here, you can see that I hit a 100k crit with my diluc. How much of this damage here is actually from diluc? Let's quickly rewind. Here, I used the bennet elemental burst, the 4-set VV on my Anemo MC, as well as a C6 Diona equipped with instructors to help boost with the elemental mastery and provide the melt reaction. Additionally, I also have a wolfgraves stones on my diluc. So I'm gonna ask again, how much damage is diluc actually doing in here? When removing everything, you can see that my diluc actually only did half of those damage in compared to the original 100k, meaning that diluc contribution is actually just half. And the other half is contributed by bennet, diona, as well as my Anemo MC. People often claim that's how much damage the character is doing. However, that is just not true. That damage is a combination of both the character themselves as well as the buff provided from the support. So it does not truly reflect the damage potential of the character himself or herself. When is the last time you see a showcase without Bennet or Zhongli or some kind of buff character? In the previous clip, you might have noticed that I was using a wolfgrave stone, which is a 5-star weapon. Wolfgraves stone will further empower my character damage. However, again, that does not truly reflect the damage potential of the character, since a part of the damage is being dealt by the weapon budget instead. So what happened if instead I used a 4-star weapon, perhaps the prototype weapon? You will notice that my damage again significantly dropped by approximately 16 to 15%. Oh, and did I tell you how many times I had to reset to get this damage? And that was because I was crit fishing. Crit fishing is when you purposely give up crit rate to build more crit damage and just retry and retry for a critical strike instead. For example, here you can see that my diluc have 180 critical damage but only 40% critical rate. As you might have known, the optimal crit rate to crit damage ratio is 1 to 2. So here, I gave up crit rate in favor of building crit damage. A better allocation would be something like this instead, where it's 65 and 156, and it's much closer to the 1 to 2 ratio, which means overall, you'll be doing more damage on average. However, you won't see as big number, so people don't do this. Easy question that you can ask yourself is, if I put another character under the exact same condition, how would they perform? For example, here my Rosaria have stat as such, and then I'm using the Battle Pass polearm as well as a 4-set Blizzard Strayer artifact set. If I put this exact same artifact set on another character, for example on Kaya, and again, I will be using the Battle Pass sword since I cannot put the Battle Pass polearm on Rosaria. How will they perform? You don't actually have to try it out, but just think about it in your head. I think the last problem with Damage Showcase is character might have downtime which are often not showcased in the showcase. Characters like Xiao or Hutao have downtime in which they do very little damage or no damage in comparison to during their uptime. I understand that people only want to see the uptime because they want to see the character in action. However, downtime is a very important factor to consider when considering damage because your damage will be averaged out between uptime and downtime. However, as I've mentioned in the beginning of the video, I don't think Damage Showcase is a bad thing when done properly. I think that Damage Showcase is very nice for people to visualize how much damage exactly a character can potentially output. I personally have done some Damage Showcase in the past as well, and honestly, I think I'm not doing enough and I should be doing them more. I think sometimes it is hard for you guys to understand how much damage I really mean when I say a lot of damage, and so that's when Damage Showcase could come in. So what can we do to make them better? I think it is actually very simple. I think making damage showcase show your character stat is good enough, such as weapon, artifact, or talent. I think this is very important as showing your stat help people understand what do they need in order to achieve similar damage as being shown. You know, if you don't have Staff of Homa but the showcase does, then you can expect your damage to be a lot less than what the showcase is doing. In my previous showcase, you will also see I showed my support stat. The intention was that I wanted as much as possible to only showcase the showing character potential, meaning that the equip potential damage artifact on support and avoiding buffing support if possible to make sure the showcase stay as true as possible to only showing the showcase character. Previously, I also tried to avoid personal input because I think damage showcase are best left to be judged by the viewer themselves. Are they doing a lot of damage or are they doing practically nothing? I think you should be the person who determined that yourself. Anyway, just like many other, my videos are definitely not perfect, so be sure to leave in the comment of what you think a proper damage showcase should be. That's it for this video. I hope to see you guys next time as well.